Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100 point squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Tonight's build is once again another Escort build, featuring the Lambda-Class Shuttle piloted by Captain Yorr, and two TIE Interceptors piloted by both Tetran Cowall and Baron Soontir, both of Saber Squadron. And the purpose, again, behind this build is the same as the Black Squadron Escort build that I had. Yorr is going to be providing long-distance support, whereas Soontir and Tetran Cowall are going to be flying, escorting the shuttle or flying off ahead to attack the targets before they can get within range of the shuttle. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward build. Three ships, all costs. The total comes to 94 points, so you'll be able to get initiative if you use this build. Yeah, so here are the ships, their pilots. Let's look at the builds. Now, again, like with the Black Squadron build, Yorr is going to have most of the upgrades, whereas Tetran Cowall and Soontir are going to have just one upgrade at a time. Thinking on it now, if you wanted to, you could give both Fel and Tetran Cowall hull upgrades to help them last longer in a fight, but that can be used for an alternative build. Anyway, let's look at the first ship in the build. We'll start with the shuttle, and the shuttle is piloted by Captain Yorr. He has a pilot skill of 4. He flies the Imperial Lambda-Class shuttle. He has an attack value of 3, agility value of 1, a hull value of 5, and a shield value of 5. He can take on the focus and lock-on actions. He costs 24 squadron points, and he's able to take on a cannon upgrade, a systems upgrade, and 2 crew slots. His ability states, when another friendly ship at range 1 to 2 will receive a stress token, if you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you may receive that token instead. So with Captain Yorr, his ability allows him to take on the stress of his allies. So as long as he doesn't have any more than 2 stress, So say Yorr gets in range. Yorr, Soontir, and Tetran Cowall get in range. They both Fel and Cowall do a K-turn. Rather than them getting the stress for the K-turn, the red maneuver, they go to Yorr instead, which would still allow Tetran Cowall and Soontir to perform their abilities, or rather their actions, which is pretty useful. But the downside of that being is it says within range 1 to 2, so the shuttle has to be within close to a medium proximity of the interceptors for that ability to take effect. Other than that, Captain Yorr is pretty much a better version of the Adrenaline Rush, only you don't discard it, and and he can also fire back too. So we'll start with the first upgrade on Yorr's build, and that is Sensor Jammer. When defending, you may change one of your attacker's hit results to a focus result. The attacker cannot reroll the die with the changed result. So again, Sensor Jammer allows you to, since the attacker will go first, Sensor Jammer, pardon me. Yeah, Sensor Jammer will change any one of the enemy's hit results to a focus, and they cannot change that with focus tokens or rerolls or whatnot. So it's pretty useful for softening the blow or evading hits entirely, which is good because the shuttle only has 1 agility value, so he's pretty susceptible to attacks at range 1 to 2. Next, for his cannon, I've chosen a heavy laser cannon. It has an attack value of 4. It can be used at range 2 to 3. And it states, attack one ship. Immediately after rolling your attack dice, you must change all of your critical results to hit results. So for attack value of 4, it's a good long distance weapon, because at range 2 to 3 you get 4 attack dice, but the downside is you don't get criticals with the heavy laser, which is fine. Any critical hits any criticals you roll will be turned into hits, but if you roll all 4 hits, then yeah, you're dealing some pretty heavy damage from a distance. So that'll help give the interceptors some covering fire when they're off dogfighting with enemy ships. Now for his first crew slot, I've given him a Mercenary Copilot. His ability states, oops, hang on, let focus. Here we go. His ability states, when attacking at range 3, you may change one of your focus hit results to a critical result. So I'm not sure if the heavy laser cannon cancels this out. but I'm going to go on a limb and say that it doesn't. So what that means is the heavy laser cannon turns all of your criticals into hits, and then if you're attacking range 3, you can use the Mercenary Copilot's ability to turn one of those regular hits into a critical. So yeah, I think you would resolve the heavy lasers first before you resolve the Mercenary Copilot. Again, I'm not sure if that's set in stone. Let me know in the comments below if that's true or not. But yeah, this will make this ship will make Captain Yorr more effective when attacking at range 3, because oh my goodness, he'll have a higher chance of scoring critical hits attack when he's attacking from very far away. Now, as another defensive mechanism, his second crew slot will be a rebel captive, and it states once per round, the first ship that declares you as the target of attack, they immediately receive a stress token. So yeah, it's good for if you're dealing with ships that are have at minimum 2 builds or 2 ships per build, because chances are you'll have only one or both of those ships in range, and the first ship that declares attack, any attack on Yorr, will receive a stress token because they're like, oh shit, they have a captive on there. I don't know if I should destroy it or what. However, it won't save you from any other ship attacking him, so it'll provide some coverage, but not for all of it. Now we move on to the ship's escorts, starting off with Tetran Cowall. Tetran Cowall has a pilot skill of 7. He flies... Oh, hang on. There we go. He has a pilot skill of 7. He flies the Sonar Fleet System's TIE Interceptor. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 0. He can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, Boost, and Evade actions. Costs 24 squadron points, and is able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade. His ability states, when you reveal a K-turn maneuver, you may treat the speed of that maneuver as 1, 3, or 5. So Tetran Cowall is really good for getting behind enemy ships. Sure, he will receive a stress, which will prevent him using actions, but if he's close enough to Yorr, that won't be a problem. But yeah, being able to choose whatever speed you perform your K-turn at is a pretty effective tactic, because with Tetran Cowall you can perform a K-turn 1, which would be good for getting behind enemies in a pinch, and it is especially useful if you collided with an enemy ship the previous turn, which allow you to get behind them but not travel as far away. Or if you want, you can do a K-turn 5 to get some distance away from your opponent, and so on and so forth. Either way, with Tetran Cowall, you want to use his ability as much as possible in order to get behind your opponent, because his elite pilot talent is Outmaneuver. This goes hand in hand with his ability, because Outmaneuver states, when attacking a ship inside your firing arc, if you are not inside the ship's firing arc, reduces agility value by 1 to a minimum of 0. So this makes Tetran Cowall a bomber and assault ship and big ship killer, because Outmaneuver will reduce their agility value by 1, and most likely they only have about 1 agility. Yeah, so with Tetran Cowall, uses K-turns to get behind his opponent, be it how close or far away. Regardless of how far away they are, Outmaneuver will reduce their agility value as long as Tetran Cowall stays behind the ship and behind the target he's attacking. Now for the second escort, we have none other than Baron Soontir himself. He has a pilot skill of 9. He flies the Sonar Fleet System's TIE Interceptor. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 3, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 0. He can take on the Focus, Barrel Roll, Boost, and Evade actions. He costs 27 squadron points, and he's able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade. His ability states, when you receive a stress token, you may assign 1 focus token to your ship. So, Soontir is one of those guys you want to stress out, regardless if you do it with ship upgrades or with red maneuvers, because Soontir will get... because Soontir will gain that extra focus if you decide to take a focus action, or, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so with Soontir, you want to stress him out, because he'll get that extra focus, and you can use that focus for offense or defense capabilities. And what better upgrade to give him than Push the Limit? It states, once per round, after you perform an attack, you may perform 1 free action in your action bar, then receive 1 stress token. So with Push the Limit, Soontir makes a move. He takes 1 action, be it a focus, barrel roll, boost, or evade. Whether by receiving a stress, he'll gain another action, as long as it's not the same action he took beforehand. and then because he'll get stressed, he'll receive that additional focus token on top of that. So with that, with push the limit, Soontir has the option to take 3 actions. He can take his first action, be it a boost barrel elevator focus, and with push the limit, he can take on, say he chose a barrel roll, he can take on a boost, evade, or focus, and then of course, because he'll be stressed with push the limit, he'll also gain that additional focus as well. And with stress, it's not so much of a problem because A, he's got Captain Yorr to help him out with that, and B, Soontir flies a TIE Interceptor, which has lots of green maneuvers, so getting rid of that stress won't be a problem. So yeah, this is my Saber Squadron Escort build. The strengths is Tetran, Cowall, and Soontir, their abilities complement their upgrades. So yeah, Tetran Cowall can do a K turn at 1, 3, or 5, and Outmaneuver will lower their enemy's agility value because he'll be behind them. Soontir, along with push the limit, allows him to take 3 actions. One action being on his action bar. The second action will cause them to stress, and then the stress will cause them to get a free focus action on free focus on top of that. With Captain Yorr, sensor jammers will prevent him, at least soften the blow from enemy fire. Heavy laser cannons will deal massive damage to enemies from a distance. If you're using that at range 3, then also you can change one of the regular hits to a critical with Mercenary Pilot or Mercenary Copilot. And then with Rebel Captive, the first ship that attacks him receives a stress, which will allow for Soontir and Tetran to get into a better fighting position to attack the ship that just fired upon the shuttle. The build's weaknesses. Let's start with the obvious ones. Tetran, Cowall, and Soontir are both interceptors. They're also TIEs at that, so that means they will not be able to take that many hits. However, you can kind of solve that with this build is 94 points, so you can kind of give Cowall and Soontir each a hull upgrade if you wanted, and then of course, yeah. So I'll solve that. That will kind of solve the whole hull issue. And of course, as for Captain Yorr, a low agility value. He has a decent defense, yes, but he has a low agility value, so he'll be incredibly susceptible to attacks from. Let's see. He'll be incredibly susceptible to attacks from ships at close range, and heavy laser cannons only works at range 2 to 3, so if he's at range 1 enemy ship, he won't be able to attack with his heavy lasers. Rebel Captive only saves you from... It'll deal stress to the first enemy that attacks him, not the second or third. And, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, another thing I should point out, even though Yorr is a bigger ship, he still has a lower pilot skill, so he's going to be going first and attacking last. Which kind of works to your advantage because that means the interceptors will get to attack before the shuttle, but the shuttle will be moving before the interceptors, so you kind of gotta watch out for that. Anyway, yeah, this is my Saber Squadron Escort build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build in any competitive or casual play, or you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thanks guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22 signing off.